Hello all, welcome back to another demo video for Redeem the Resistance deck building card game. So I'm very excited to make this video with you because, as you notice, I don't have the game mat with me. That's because I'm going to show you that you can play this game without the game mat. You don't need it. You can play anywhere. It could be park table, you could play on the carpet floor somewhere, on the kitchen table right here. All you need is just a little area where you can put your cards and you'll have an idea where everything goes. So first of all, this video will answer some frequently asked questions that I receive when I test the game out with some volunteers, and I'm going to cover some of those very carefully because they are in the rule book, but they're also listed in the card descriptions. So each card does have some descriptions. Unlike some game cards, the descriptions that can be very, very long and very small writing. In this case, the descriptions are very basic. They're essentially just bullet points that say what the character can do and some extra abilities that may interest you. So first of all, here's the setup for how to play this game without the game mat. You have the empty space so you can fight and draw villain cards or battle cards in this area right here. You have the home deck to the side for both opponents. You also have the Shadowland here. The Shadowland, if you remember, is the area where you put cards that are shared between you. You can't own cards in the Shadowland unless you've used them or you have defeated characters. For instance, any card that is silver and has an S on it will go directly into the Shadowland. No one gets to claim that. This card in particular is not silver. It has a blue background, blue border. Doesn't have an S, which means anyone can own it. And this is an upgrade card. So if I were to draw this, it would not have to go into the Shadowland. I would put it into my hand, known as the arsenal. I'm putting it face down so my opponent can't see them. If you're brave and you want to taunt your opponent, you could always put them face up if you don't mind your adversary seeing them. But I like to hold them in my hand and keep them sort of a secret throughout the game. This did go into the Shadowland because it's silver. This is a flight card. And what happens with flight cards is some characters have the ability to fly. And if you want them to fly in-game, you can pull from the Shadowland and use the flight card. And now your character can fly. Now, if your character happens to be flying, you can then use the aerial strike, which is an upgrade attack, which is used for characters, who are already flying. So if you use these together, you're adding 4 power points to a character in battle. So it's very lucrative as far as power goes. You have to have a nice situation, of course. There has to be a flying character available. You have to have a flight card, and if you want that extra attack, you can play the aerial strike. I know some characters like Maxim Cavallo, in their description, states that if someone uses the aerial strike on him, he can dodge it, and it doesn't really have an effect on him. So just some things to watch out for. My first tip is to pay attention to what the cards are telling you to do, okay? So this card would not go here. This card would. And I guess we'll just go through some possible scenarios. We'll use the home deck. It looks like we have another character card. Not one that I started with, but it does have a white border. This is a character for free that if you draw her, you can claim her, and you can add her to your front lines. Just a free character to use. It comes from the book Paltronus. It's a little bonus book in this game. You can notice it has a P for Paltronus. It's a physical character because it has a fist, and its power is 2. If we draw again, we'll see that there's a villain card that I have to fight. It has a red border to let you know it is a bad guy. It has the letter R, meaning it's a villain from my book, because my characters are R for Redeem the Knight. Also in the middle, it's sort of a burgundy color, just like mine. So there's no question this villain is from my books, which means it's a villain that I have to fight. Now, since I drew this villain and not my opponent, I get to decide who gets to attack her first. And since Ty goes to the drawer, I can draw Arl Balin, who's 3. And because Ty goes to the drawer, I would win this battle. Unless, of course, there's anything she can use from the Shadowland. You can't use anything from your arsenal if you're a villain. I could, of course, but villains can only draw extra cards to help from the Shadowland. So it doesn't say, let's see, oh, it actually says may use 1 flight card per round. So, believe it or not, this character can use this flight card. She can fly. If my opponent wants to defeat me, I can use that. And I don't have anything I can use, so I would essentially lose. And because I don't get her, she would go into the Shadowland. My opponent, because they successfully used the flight card to help defeat me, they get to take this and put it into their spoils. So if you don't use a game mat, your spoils section can be right to the side. This is where any characters, cards rather, that you've stolen from that side, or enemies that you've defeated can go here in your spoils section. This is for the end when you count these up. Count the white numbers. You find out who has the highest amount of these white numbers, and that's who you decide wins. So let's talk about spoils for a second. Another frequently asked question is, can you steal? And the answer is you can. If you get a steal card, which I have, I can steal a card from my adversary's spoils section. I can literally go in there and take what I want. I might take a card that could benefit me in some way. Perhaps I could use this for Arl Balin to heal everyone. Maybe I can get a chest that I can resurrect someone. Or I might just try to steal a card that has a high number. The problem, of course, is I won't be able to steal anything if my opponent has a cash guard. A cash guard, as you'll see in the card, prevents their spoils from being robbed. So if I pull my steal card, they can pull their cash guard, and since this is useless, I put it in my spoils. Since they use this, they put it in their spoils, and I didn't get to steal anything. Another frequently asked question is the Demon Lord. Demon Lord is an adversary that the Angels of Resistance must face. It's a villain from their book. As you'll notice, it has a purple background inside, just like the Angels of Resistance, and it has an A to let you know it's from that book. Now, if you notice, this is just a wing. You're obviously not going to fight a wing when you pull this. However, it says here, place into the Shadowland until it is fully assembled. Well, it looks like he is fully assembled, which means it is time for this side to fight the Demon Lord. The Demon Lord is a 3-card villain worth 30 points when all together. So if you draw the wing or just the body, it's not ready to be fought yet. The Demon Lord would go into the Shadowland until all 3 cards are together. And now, this side is going to have a heck of a job trying to defeat this villain. If they do defeat the villain, they take all the cards and put it in their spoils. If not, the character who fought the villain and died turns over, and the Demon Lord goes back into the Shadowland. And that's how that would go. So, to recap some frequently asked questions, you can play this game without the mat as long as you have your 3 characters opposite each other. You have your little spoils section, like your little bank, to the side. You have your arsenal, where you can hold your action and upgrade cards. And of course, the deck is in the side off center. The Shadowland is here, opposite the home deck. This is where villains go if you could not defeat them, and also silver Shadowland cards that specifically say they go here, so both sides can pull them during battles. And that is basically some of the most asked questions in Redeem the Resistance. If you have not seen my other videos, such as how to start the game, the battle mechanics on how to fight different battles, and of course, the final battle, how to end the game, please do so. And my final video will be the rules. I am going to read out the rules clearly and concisely to you, so there's no question as to how to play the game. Of course, this is your game, so when you receive it, you can follow the rules of the game. However, you can play with it and decide how you want the game to go, because it's yours. This is your game. I made it for you to enjoy. So until next time, happy playing.